All right. Hi, Agnijo. Welcome to the
Hi.
interview. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
So I am Agnijo. I was born and brought up in Calcutta, and I did my engineering from Jadavpur University. I did it in electronics and telecommunications. After that, I was attracted towards data analysis, as this was the growing industry, and at this moment, people are saying that data is the new oil. So I joined HSBC Bank as a data analyst. There, I worked for 2 years, and then I realized that I want to move towards a more business moving role where I know the business more and I drive the business more. And that's why after 2 years of working, I actually wrote CAT, and this is why I want to do my
All
MBA.
right, Agnijo.
Other than
Agnijo, I can figure all this out from the profile that you have submitted. Why don't you tell me a little that's not there on your profile?
Okay, so something that's not there on my profile. So actually, in my meantime, it's not a hobby, but I go out and pet street animals. Like I just pet them, feed them, take care of them. Sometimes take them to the hospital and see that they are okay. Get them neutered, and I love doing this. And also like I I love playing a lot. Like it's not it's again there's a portion in my CV where I played for my college and my company as well. But yeah, even picked games with children who are playing on the streets. Like it's just fun, just going out and just holding the bat and hitting the ball, or playing football with them. It's just fun.
All right.
Like
What
I love
else?
doing this.
What else do you do apart from this?
Apart from this, I love traveling. I love music. I love movies, series. There are quite a like I have my subscription for Amazon Prime, Netflix, and a few others as well. Because if I am free at night, I will watch something and sleep.
So went through your scorecard from your school days, and I see that you've done pretty well in physics, chemistry, mathematics, but surprisingly bad in Bengali. What happened?
Okay, so I told you about my thing called I love street animals. Okay, so this love for street animals actually made me contract a disease, which was a fungal infection which grows on the heads of dogs, cats, and birds. Aspergillus. So this Aspergillus actually infected the sinus just below my brain, and yeah, my exam was in March. The board's exam was in March, and on February I got it operated. Now, physics, chemistry, maths is kind of concept based. If you have the concept, you can do it. But Bengali is something you need to remember and read stuff. So somewhere, while losing those 1 month just before the exam, I couldn't get time to read Bengali well, and this is the reason why I scored poorly in
So you're
Bengali.
saying that if there is a task where you have to memorize something, you will not be able to do it?
I'm not saying that. If I get to memorize something, and if I have time to memorize it, then I will be able to do it. Like if you tell me to memorize a whole maybe a whole prose piece heart by heart, and you tell me that you have 15 minutes to do it, you can't, right?
Okay, so which means that, say, before your surgery, you did well until the half yearly examinations, but only the final examinations were not up to the mark.
Yeah, I can say that. And also what happens is Bengali is a lot about reading. And what happened is, since it was a surgery just below my brain, it somewhere tinkered with the memory, as well as I forgot a bit of chemistry as well. So
All
so
right,
there
so
so out of the trauma and all. So it just tinkered with it.
all right, so in that case, since you could study Bengali well for at least half of the year, tell me five novels by Bankim Chandra Chattopadhyay.
Five novels. Devi Chaudhurani, Anandamot,
Okay, no
Kapal
worries.
Kundala. I remember three.
All
Sorry.
right, no problem, no problem. So just picking on a couple of subjects that you've studied in engineering, I see that you have done a course on industrial management. What do you understand by industrial management?
I don't remember fully about that course. Actually, I don't remember anything about that course. But I remember there was some analysis about the seasonal impact. That there was an example where we were searching that searching that beers are sold more towards the end of the year, which was a reason for which was a reason because of the Christmas in the US market, and it has a normal trend there. So something related to the operations, how actually the plant will work. But I don't remember totally about the subject.
Okay, so back then
It
you
was
did
two
not.
years back.
Okay, so back then you did not have much of an interest into management.
No, actually, I had interest in management, but back then I was more focused on the engineering subjects. So like back then, if you ask me about how a semiconductor chip works, how a diode works, I'll just tell it then and there. But then when I actually joined HSBC and I realized, no, I don't want to be a developer anymore. I want to understand business more, and that's how I realized that no, I need a management degree.
Okay, so how long were you at HSBC?
two
2 years.
years.
Okay, so in 2 years, your goal changed from a developer to a manager. So after MBA, what if your goal changes again?
How will it change and where will it change? See, what I see from here, uh, uh, my goal was to understand the business more. Now what can happen? What can happen? I might change. I might see that okay, there were a few perks in the being a developer as well. So now I can play the roles of both a developer and a manager. Like I can be some kind of a manager who knows how to code as well as know how to handle the business. What's wrong in that?
Okay, so going back, if you had a chance to do something else for your undergraduation, would you do that?
I don't think so. Like I really liked electronics. I really liked working with those tiny devices, playing with 5 volts and 12 volts. Like I really liked doing that.
Okay, so I see that you pretty much love electronics. I saw a glitter in your eye when you spoke about this. I doubt if MBA would really be your final destination. You are probably inclined towards the technical side of things.
So just tell me something. I can see so many CEOs talking about technology. So they are all MBAs who are now talking about technology. So why not I be a leader and actually talk about technology in future? My engineering background will come into play back then, since I would actually know how to run the business, and I would actually know how to integrate technology with it.
You're
Like
right. You're right. A lot of people are doing it, but the question is, do you want to do it? And are you the
yeah,
same kind of? Are you the same
yeah,
kind of guy?
absolutely. Which like whatever is the new going trend, I'll have to go there. Like, right, I can't be like the Nokia, where yeah, I didn't adapt and I actually lost.
All right, interesting. All right, so then tell me a little bit more about what you did at HSBC. Can you elaborate on your role?
Yeah, so so in HSBC, I worked for the surveillance team. I was in the commercial banking sector, where I looked into the GTRF transactions, and did a risk analysis and flagged the risky customers and the risky transactions. So and other than that, I used other techniques to actually judge the risk and the frauds, and how are they actually behaving.
Okay. So, is there a dream position at HSBC where you saw yourself when you were working there?
Yeah, I used to work with people who were from Hong Kong and who were handling the business. I wanted to be on their chair
Okay.
someday.
All right. Interesting. And did they also have an MBA degree?
Yeah,
Okay.
all of them had an MBA degree.
All right. Good, good, good. Okay. So tell me a little bit more about what kind of software you used, if any.
So I use SAS, which is statistical analysis software, and for some things I used R. Like for some machine learning algorithms and other algorithms, I used R.
Okay. So can you just give us a use case, any typical example of what you did, how you solved?
Yeah, so so what happened is SAS was the main software which we used, because the bank data was uploaded in something called a Teradata, which is a platform where the data was stored, and that Teradata could be accessed by using SAS only. So SAS has those keywords and passwords and all. But yeah, and what SAS had was, it was very compact, like it was not as complex as writing like C++, or in some cases R as well. So it was very easier to, like, if you know how to write English well, you will get a hang of SAS really fast.
Okay, so an important skill of any manager is to explain complex stuff in a very simple manner, and that is
Yeah.
what I want to get from you in the next answer. And the question for that is, give me a typical use case of what you did at work, how you used this software, and how you solved something or how you made something better in a very simple manner, as if you're explaining to a layman.
Okay, so use case, let me actually explain it by actually telling you something which I did there. So what happened is, there are so let's consider Teradata as a data storage section. Okay, so data is uploaded there. Now I download the data. Okay, I download the data and I code it. Now what I did, I play with the data and find out patterns in it. Now what I found out, now GTRF is Global Trade and Receivable Finance. It's basically trade transaction. So whenever two companies or two entities or two individuals do trade transactions, it gets recorded. Okay, trade transactions through HSBC. Either one party is HSBC or both parties are HSBC. Now something which happened is this trade transaction got cancelled due to some reason. Now what I did, I will check further in another folder why this trade transaction got cancelled. Now there are 23 different flags which we mark it with. Now I will see the number of the flag, and I will see why that transaction was cancelled. Now I see that that transaction was cancelled because the shipment passed to a sanctioned country. Okay, a shipment passed to a sanctioned country. Now what I do, I just out of my wit, I did some random joining to see whether this transaction after being cancelled was tried through another way or not. I just did a name matching. I just matched the names to see that whether these two parties transacted. Maybe they didn't do a trade transaction, but they maybe wired the transaction so that they don't get caught due to this. Now what they did, I found out that they wired the transaction. That person wired the transaction, and they that that there were two entities, entity A, entity B. Now what they did, entity A gave the amount to another entity which is A dash. Now entity A's transaction was cancelled.
Mhm.
Okay, A's transaction was cancelled. So B gave money to A, and B's transaction to A was cancelled. Now entity A gave money to A dash. Okay. Now A dash was actually a subsidiary of A. From further handling the data, I found out. Now what I further found out, that entity B was giving money to entity A in smaller funds, and in the last 2 months that summed up to the exact amount, which was actually the cancelled trade transaction amount. So this was a big fraud which I found out just playing with the data.
Very nice. Interesting. So, are these frauds still happening, or is there now a stronger process to identify them?
So what happened is, these kinds of frauds happen, and now what we did, we were we were writing an algorithm for it. I wrote a portion of it, and it is still continued. Now it will be in place. When it will be in place, we will suggest the RMs that these transactions look fishy.
Interesting.
So we are working on it to keep it in place.
Very nice. Okay. So, you also mentioned that you use two softwares, right? One is SAS and another is R. So, can you tell me
Yes.
what's the main difference between the two?
So why we needed to use R? Our SAS was easier than R. Like, it's easier to write. There are SQL tables in R, SQL tables in SAS, and there are data step tables in R SAS as well. whether you have to do everything individually and write every step in R. But what was not there in SAS was machine learning algorithms and other algorithms weren't too much of help in SAS. For those reasons, it was very simple. Since someone wrote a piece of algorithm and just uploaded it as a package, we just needed to download it and just call that particular function, and that particular function actually helped us to predict to do our predictions better, and for
Okay.
that we needed R.
All right. So quick question about R. How will you remove blank space in Excel using R?
So yeah, blank space in Excel. One of the methods could be I will import the Excel, and when I will import the Excel, if there is a blank row, if there is a blank row, I'll just import as a data frame, and I will write if I want to delete row 2 minus C minus 2, and it will delete row 2.
Okay, good. All right, going back to your school that you've mentioned, I see that you're from South Point, and I
Yeah.
think South Point has a very rigorous screening process to select students into science stream after class 10. So, what was your rank within those internal exams in class 10?
So out of 170, I ranked 150, exactly 150.
150. Okay.
Yeah,
And the batch size is around 800 or?
850, 850.
So out of 800, you ranked around 150. And then I
Uh,
see that after class 12th, you're in your West Bengal joint where lakhs of students appear. Your overall rank is 200. So what
yeah.
happened suddenly? What kind of transformation happened these 2 years?
Yeah, so what happened is there I was judged in more than a few subjects. So you can't I believe that you can't excel in everything, right? You are better in a few things, you're not better in a few things. So I knew that I had a weakness in history and geography. And after class 10, I said goodbye to those two subjects forever when I took the science stream. And if you can see my marks if you see the grade card of my test examination where I ranked 150, my marks in science stream were pretty consistent. But what happened is in WBJE or in AIEEE, which we call JEE main, I was only tested upon physics, chemistry, and math. So there, I guess I did better than quite a few of the students, and that's why I had an improved rank there.
All right, good. And then I see that after 12th, you went into Jadavpur University,
Yeah.
and Jadavpur University is infamous for all its student protests and various other activities that go on. And I'm pretty apprehensive that if I let you into my college, then you might take up similar such activities, and the reputation of the college is going to go downhill.
Yeah, so there are a few activities which are for the right cause. Like you should stand for the right causes. I understand that part. I know that Jadavpur University is coming in the limelight for the wrong reasons, because because some of the actions are not accordance to what should be the decorum. And I believe that in an institute the decorum is pretty important, and I don't think I can ever do anything that can harm the decorum, since I am here to learn and become a better manager and actually excel in my life. And
Okay, interesting. And then I see that you've also done an internship during your engineering with Airtel. So,
yeah.
can you explain these common terminologies that keep floating around 1G, 2G, 3G, 4G? Can you tell us about them?
Okay. Yeah, so so as you see the term G, term G stands for generation. So so 1G, which was the first generation somewhere in 1970s, which was just for telephonic interaction and telephonic calls. So the basic difference between 1G and 2G is when 1G was analog system and 2G was a digital system. So when so when 2G came into play, 2G was the same call activity, but this time it was a digital platform, and it was packets of data which was in that format. Now came 2.5G between 2G and 3G, which interacted with the GPRS system and the CDMA system, if I'm not wrong. So what happened? People now can actually send data as well, and we got the first internet connectivity, which was somewhere around 64 kbps. the maximum speed was somewhere around 64 kbps. So standing today, you can see that that's pretty low. That's pretty low. Now came 3G. Now 3G became a standard. The standard was you can surf internet at around, I guess, 2 Mbps. B means 2 Mbps. Yes, two or more Mbps, somewhere in that line. Yeah. So the promise was that when you walk with your handset, you will get somewhere around 384 kbps. Since you walk with your handset, your speed drops due to handoffs between different towers and other issues. Your speed drops, and then uh, then then when you're normal, you're getting 2 mbps of speed. So there were changes in the system, like the changes in the system. The entire I don't remember the exact terminology, but the entire system was made new with a new kind of architecture. Now what 4G happened is 4G wanted to give you internet at, if I'm not wrong, it was 100 mbps or something like that, or maybe more. But it couldn't reach there. It couldn't reach there. That's why the internet which we get, we can see that it's written 4G LTE. LTE is long term evolution. We are trying to reach there, but we have reached somewhere in the middle.
All right.
Now
All
what?
right. Perfect, Agnijo. Sounds good. All right. Thank you so much for the interview. We'll let you know soon. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.